What is up, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt, where Derek and I talk about pop culture and video games and music and movies and franchises. Derek is dead, but it's okay, because we got Toby here in his place. Oh, wait, he's back from the dead. He's coming back. No, I'm just kidding. We're all here. We're all alive. We're all well. And, well, Derek's not well. He's sick as fuck and dying right now, but...
Influenza B, bitch!
Yay, influenza! But, anyway... Before we get things rolling, how are you guys doing today? What is up? What's been
pretty damn good?
What's been your music of choice lately, Toby?
Oh man, my music of choice? Shit. I've been listening to a lot of Deftones lately. I don't know why. I'm just in a Deftones-y kind of mood.
Deftones, huh?
Yeah, I was downstairs last night cooking some dinner, and I was just bumping Deftones on the TV.
Jesus, that was complete left field. I wouldn't have thrown Deftones out there, but
aside from Deftones though, fuck, what else have I been listening to? I don't know.
Derek's pissed, I think.
I can't see him. He's frozen on my screen.
No, he's just looking at the camera.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not frozen. You son of a bitch. I swear to God.
Not a Deftones fan?
No, I am a Deftones fan. Actually, I am a fan of Seether covering Deftones.
Oh, yeah, that's why the smoldering was happening. Okay, it's all coming back.
Oh, man. The smolder didn't actually do anything for me because he's frozen and I can't see him.
Oof. Maybe you were actually frozen on his end, but...
It's kind of funny. He's frozen like the... He's like giving a weird side eye and I can only see from here up on him.
Good.
Nice.
That's all you need to be seeing right now. You blasphemous bitch.
I am a certified Deftones hater, so I don't give a shit. But no, I'm just kidding. I like a couple of their songs. I'm just not my cup of tea. But
I like them better when Seether covers them.
Shut the fuck up.
Garbage, trash cover, 0 out of 10.
That we will not agree on. But one way or another, Derek, what have you been listening to? Because obviously it hasn't been Deftones.
Yeah, it hasn't been Deftones. I listened to the new, and I'm going to go ahead and I've made my mind up on an officially disappointing single from All That Remains. It's okay. It's okay. That's all the more I can do with it because then, Starset, they put out a new single, literally either the day of or the day after. And yeah, that has caught my eye, and it is actually really, really freaking good. So, yeah, basically just that. And
I've never really got too heavy into Starset, but
I dig Starset.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
I don't dislike them. I just never really got too heavy into them. But
it's better than Divine. That's all I'm gonna say.
What about you, Jacob? What have you been listening to?
Dude, I've been listening to All That Remains, but I will have to say that it hasn't been Divine. I've been listening to Overcome and The Fall of Ideals pretty much on repeat, those two albums, just because it's a sad day when a band's new single is making you want to listen to their old stuff.
Yeah, I think that just means we're getting old.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I think that their old stuff is just so good. Also, like I told you guys in the group chat, Overcome is in my 10s album, so it's a no-skip album for me. I'll listen to it front to back any day of the week. Don't give a shit. Love it. Listen to it in the shower. Listen to it while I'm shitting. I don't care. I listen to it whenever, but...
Yeah, no, I got the video of you listening to 2 weeks in the shower. Thanks for that, by the way.
You're welcome. It's not as bad as when you send the random fucking beer chugging videos while you're in the shower.
That hasn't happened in over 2 years. All right.
Yeah, but I remember it, and I'll never forget it.
God, yeah. I just get shit after work, and then, I want to share my enjoyment of shower beers.
You didn't get that snap from Derek, the shower beers?
Nope. That must have been before I had Derek's Snapchat.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah, it was a while ago.
Maybe. Anyway, that is cool. That's what we've been doing. I'm not even going to ask what we've been playing and shit, because obviously we all know the answers to that, so we're gonna
check that video out.
We're just gonna, yeah, the video is out, by the way. Go ahead and check that out and give us some watch time.
Oh,
please. Thanks.
Is it already up? Or
No, it will be out by the time this video's out.
oh, I got you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna schedule this one's gonna be scheduled for Friday, just our normal Friday release, and then I'll have that one up today. Like once we get done recording this, I'll go ahead and upload it. So that video should be out by the time this video comes out. So make sure you check that out. Toby is also on that one, giving a little bit of a 2 cents on the state of Helldivers. So yeah, but what are we talking about today, Derek?
We're talking about video game adaptations that aren't Fallout.
That aren't Fallout. Yeah. Well, we'll probably have a little Fallout segment, but we're not going to go too heavy into it because we already put out a whole ass video on it.
Check that video out!
Yeah, check that one out too. That's also up.
Okay.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's our most viewed video. If not, it's like coming up close to our most viewed video. So
Oh yeah.
it's not. It's not.
No.
Slipknot.
Our horror icons is our number one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. Almost forgot.
No. Right now Fallout's sitting about mid of the pack. So
Really?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad views. People should check it out. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, everybody check it out so we can make it our most viewed video. Even though I do obviously love the support we've gotten on the horror movie icons. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's always
Just
funny.
watch them all. Just comment on all of them.
Yeah,
I mean,
comment on them all. Give us a like on all of them. And if you're watching this and haven't subscribed, then you're just doing yourself a disservice because we have banger-ass episodes like this every single Friday, and you should definitely check them out. Not to mention a healthy backlog for anybody that's a little late to the game. So,
and, yeah, everything he said.
yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
video game adaptations, but this was brought about by the success of the Fallout series.
Yes.
This is the whole reason we decided to talk about this to begin with. As a matter of fact, I think Toby is the one that brought it up. It was either you or Derek. One of you guys were saying that we should do a video game adaptations.
I think that one was Toby.
It was me because originally I did want to talk about the Fallout series because I had watched like the first or second episode of it, and I was like, holy shit, this is really good. And you guys said that you had already seen it, and
Yeah.
I was like, we need to do a video about this. And then you guys decided you were going to do it like Sunday, and I was like, fuck, I don't have enough time to finish this. But
Yes, you did.
I didn't.
Yes, you
but
did.
I had far too much shit going on in my personal life. But anyway, you guys did that video, and I was like, well, I kind of really want to talk. Like, after I finished the series, I was like, this has brought about some talking points on just the state of video game adaptations as a whole. And I kind of wanted to just talk about it. So here we are.
Here we are. We are here. Discussing video game adaptations as a whole, whether it's a movie or a TV show, doesn't matter. If it's based on a video game, we're doing it. It's going to talk about it. Well, if we've seen it, of course. I'm not going to talk about something I haven't seen, but
Based on a video game.
Okay.
Video game.
I'm going to get that one right out of the way off the bat because I'm talking about it anyway. But The Witcher, I'm going to throw out there, even though it is technically based on the book series or whatever, but I don't give a shit, and I don't think you can ask anybody that's around if they give a shit, because I don't think they do. If you think of The Witcher, I'm almost certain most of the people that you talk to are going to be thinking about the game. They're immediately going to think of the game before the book any day of the week.
You're right about that, but I mean, still, their thought is wrong. I mean, it's from a book.
Regardless,
Yeah,
I love
but
it.
if you associate it with the game, I know it comes from a book, but I also would associate The Witcher with a video game.
Yeah,
I don't think it could count here, but you know.
Exact same. I always forget that it's from a book, but then I'm like, oh shit, yeah, it is.
There is another one actually that is based on a book, but I always associate it with a video game that I personally feel is incredibly underrated as a video game adaptation, and that is Dante's Inferno,
dude.
The animated movie.
Dude, Derek, remember how I said there was 2 exceptions I was going to make to this rule? That was the other one.
You guys realize I have a cat named Dante, right?
I fucking love the animated movie, dude. It is so fucking good.
The game was so good.
It is one of the best animated movies I've ever seen.
It is so good. However, I will say this is where it becomes an exception because I'm pretty sure the game was based on the movie. So
no, the game was based on the story.
Are you sure? No. The movie was based on Dante's Inferno, even though it's very loosely done that way. And then the game came after the animated movie. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Hold on.
I don't know. We can fact check that, but either way.
I could have swore Dante's Inferno, the animated movie, came out before the game.
I was thinking it came out after because it's like the character designs in the movie are very similar to how they are in the game, which, I mean, I guess if the game is based on the movie, it could go either way, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure the game came out first. I don't know, but either way, it's a really damn good movie. It's a great game, too.
They actually both came out in 2010.
February 9th for the movie, and then, part of me was say, I thought this one, February 4th for the game.
Oh, damn, so they came out, like, together.
The same time, okay.
Literally, like, a week apart.
That checks out, okay. But, yeah, no, I definitely watched the movie before I played the game. I actually didn't know anything about the game until way later, so... But again, that's just
shit out of the game. God, yeah, I love the game.
I own it on PS3, I think, or something like that. But yeah, no, I had a very good time with that. And then of course the animated movie as well is just phenomenal. And each different art style for each Ring of Hell and shit is just super well done. I watch that movie all the time. I'm not even kidding. I've seen it at least 10 times, if not more. But
that's actually something I wanted to bring up, and I feel like this is the best time to do it. Video game adaptations as a whole, there's a place for live action, obviously. Like, there's a market for that. But personally, I feel like animated movies is like, if you're going to be adapting a video game, animation is like the way to go. In my opinion, at least.
I think it makes it easier. I think it makes it easier, and it's easier to translate that into a animation than it would be into a live action. Especially games as well. Don't get me wrong, though. I think that Dante's Inferno would be a sick live action movie. By landslide, that would be sick.
Sick ass series
or a series, yeah. They could have a whole like episode based on each ring, and that'd be sick as fuck. But one way or another, I do agree that there are some, like the Mario movie, for example, which I'm definitely going to be talking about, would not have done as well as a live action.
The track record is there.
It had. Yeah, exactly. There was a live action. I know that. But if they were to try another live action remake, even if they were to have a more screwed on head than they did with the original live action one, and they were to make the characters roughly look like live action versions of their counterparts and stuff, or if they would have made Bowser some like massive CG like dinosaur turtle thing or whatever, it still would not have. I mean, it could have been cool looking, but it would not have been a Super Mario movie, in my opinion. And they did themselves way better by doing an animation.
Oh yeah. No, it just comes down to basically like, so for Dante's Inferno, I think that could translate really well into a live action movie or a series. But yeah, Mario, because the character is already like
stylized.
It's stylized like a cartoon, whereas in Dante's Inferno or like God of War, they're meant to be human. You know, but whereas Mario, it's like, what the fuck is he? So when they do like Zelda and Donkey Kong, inevitably, those will be animated as well. And, you know, I'm not going to complain about that.
Though arguably Zelda could be could probably be okay as a live action, to be honest with you, but I would still rather it be an animation.
So that way we get a Super Smash Brothers crossover in the future.
Exactly.
Nintendo,
Yeah.
Nintendo legitimately needs to play this 100% perfect, because the MCU, sorry Toby, is definitely in decline. And so Nintendo, if they've got some Donkey Kong, some Zelda, what is it to get Metroid, the rest of the gang together,
Kirby.
Kirby. Always forget about Kirby.
I love Kirby, dude.
But get all of that together, create a universe, and then lead with instead of Avengers, Smash Brothers. Nintendo can do it.
I would love it, dude.
Yeah.
I would love that. And it would be super fun. Like, it'd be super fun to just, like, watch. Even if the story is mindless, even the story is not really, like, anything groundbreaking or whatever, it would still be fun to watch that, because those characters are just so, like, iconic as it is. So seeing them all team up with each other and shit and use their abilities and seeing different worlds and stuff, like like Kirby's homeworld and Hyrule and all these places, would be just really fucking cool to see come together in a multiverse kind of thing. But as burnt out as I know a lot of us are on the multiversal kind of shit that's been going on because of DC and Marvel, I think that this would lend itself well to a multiversal kind of saga. But
I wouldn't even say multiversal, just one verse, one universe. Because
just all in worlds.
The multiverse stuff with the MCU is getting exhausting. I'll just say that. But at least if they take that out of it and just make it a one shared universe, I'm on board for it. More multiverse stuff, 100,000% no, because it's unless if it's done right. Because
go ahead. I think if you're going to do a Smash Bros. Movie, you almost have to do it a multiversal thing. Because, like, Kirby is not set in the same universe as, like, Solid Snake, for instance, or...
Well, do you think they're realistically going to get the rights from Konami to put Snake in it?
Well, no. I'm just saying, like, all of those... That's the draw of Smash Bros. Is it's, like, all different characters from a bunch of different shit that are all plucked in and thrown into the same thing.
I'm talking old school, dude. Like, you go back to the first Super Smash Brothers for 64. What is it? Pikachu, Mario, Luigi. There's only like 12 of them. I know now that it's got like Bayonetta, Snake, and all this crap in it. But just go back to that originalness where you don't have all the extra stuff, because Nintendo has all the licenses for all of that. I mean, shit, we've got Detective Pikachu as a movie. That was awesome. So use Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu in this and keep growing it.
I will say this to bring up Toby's point, though, is if they're going to do an original cast from the N64 Smash Bros. With like Fox and Kirby and Donkey Kong, Mario, the gang, right? People would lose their mind. It would be so good, it would just blow shit out of the fucking water, right? But you know damn well that if that happens, people are going to want the bigger Smash Ultimate lineup. They're going to want to see that to some capacity.
Oh yeah, that's why you start. No, that's why you.
If they're going to build to that, that would be cool. Because if they can turn it into a multiversal thing, as burnt out as we all are on multiversal shit, I still think that this particular thing would lend itself better to a multiversal thing, not getting so misled and congealed and whatever. It's not going to be as flustering as the MCU thing, because there's been so many different like rewrites and so many movies that are just like subpar. There's so many characters that just didn't fit the bill or didn't land, or some characters that just outright were disappointing as shit. Like Thor, in my opinion, was probably the biggest letdown for me anyway. Oh, the Hulk. The Hulk is also a huge letdown. I love the Hulk a lot, so seeing his character not really get the attention he deserves and shit sucked, But if they were to do an N64 lineup for Smash Bros. Into a movie, hell yeah. But I would want to see Donkey Kong beat the living shit out of Steve from Minecraft, okay? That's all I'm saying. That would be beautiful. Okay.
Is Steve an ultimate?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna say I did not
You know who
realize
else?
that.
You know who else is in Ultimate that I think would open a whole new can of worms? Sora from Kingdom Hearts is in
Oh.
Ultimate.
Once I didn't play Kingdom Hearts, so I'm not familiar with that.
I wasn't like a super fan like a lot of the people that do play Kingdom Hearts is, but that's a whole Disney thing, so I don't know how they'd go around getting all that. But Sora from Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite characters in Smash Ultimate as far as like the new ones go. I would want to see that shit happen. Like, I would want to see Donkey Kong beat the shit out of Steve, for sure. And I would also want to see Sora fight, like, Link or something like that. That'd be awesome.
You'll have to do that eventually. Like once you get a couple more like big team up movies, you follow Marvel's playbook and just do it better because they've already laid the groundwork, made the mistakes. You know where to.
Less is more, though.
Yeah,
because I don't want an individual movie for every fucking Mario character. I want them to do like a Mario style thing where they introduce a ton of characters. So if they do a Zelda one, they've got a Zelda movie, a Mario movie, and a fucking Kirby movie or whatever, you know, and it introduces all of those characters all in one. So it's basically if they took the Avengers movies and there were only the Avengers movies without all the origin stories and shit, and then they do the big, like, fucking crazy team up or some shit for Smash Ultimate. That'd be sick.
Donkey Kong deserves a movie before Kirby.
Oh, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. Donkey Kong's my main. Obviously, I agree with that.
I would say Donkey Kong 64. Make that into a whole fucking series, please.
Hell
my god.
Donkey Kong's my main, dude. I main Donkey Kong every time I boot that fucking game up. I love him.
I agree that we don't need an individual movie for every character in a hypothetical Smash Bros. Movie, but it did get me starting to think, like, what would that look like from a story perspective? If they were to make a Smash Bros. Movie, because it's just correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not super into Smash Bros., but it doesn't have a story per se, does it? It's just kind of like...
It's got a campaign. But it's a pretty loose campaign. If you play Ultimate's campaign, it does kind of have like a loose reason why they're all there. I don't even remember what it was. That's how lackluster it was, to be honest with you. And I don't play Smash for the story, that's for sure. But each one of them kind of has a like semi-campaign story. And again, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's like your generic fucking the world is opening up and all these characters from different places are being brought into the fold or whatever and so forth. But
because that's one of the components that I feel makes or breaks a video game adaptation into a movie or a TV series. Is like, how well can they translate the gameplay or the vibe of the game into a movie?
Yeah.
Because like a movie, no matter what it is, has to be story driven first and foremost. Like, video games don't have to be. Like, you can have a game like Minecraft that's just fun to play. Like, there's no point A to point B. There's no real characters. There's no story behind it. But it's just fun to play. And video games can do that. Movies kind of can't.
I think with the Smash Bros. Scenario, though, I think that the draw that it has is that you can scrap the story from the games entirely and come up with something entirely different. Because, like I said, it's such a loose story. They could go fucking anywhere with it, and it would be super easy for them to take like Calamity Ganon, for example, from the Breath of the Wild, and turn him into a BBEG fucking world-destroying, galaxy-destroying entity, because that's kind of what he is already. But there would be so easy to take him, make a threat like that, and then have the characters from Zelda go out looking for people to help them destroy Calamity Ganon, or whatever he would be called in this. But and then, of course, like, Samus has Ridley and King Dedede and fucking, you know, like King K. Rool, all these super big ass villain names that you could easily have team up, and that makes the story itself. You know, like, the filler stuff is easy. At that point, you just build like side stories and characters that have their own motives and interpretations and so forth, and obviously there's betrayal moments for characters like Wario and Waluigi and all that shit, and like it writes itself, dude, and I fucking want to see it.
Yeah, I think for the context of a Super Smash Bros. Movie, I agree with your previous statement about less is more, because like a Super Smash Bros. Movie, if not handled correctly, I feel could very, very easily turn into like a Ready Player One kind of scenario where it's just a fucking clusterfuck of a bunch of different cameos for no real reason.
Yeah.
No, I feel it.
No,
I would want to see like a really well thought out story that incorporates and utilizes all of those different characters in a meaningful way.
Oh yeah, of course. I could not agree more. But we've been on a hypothetical Smash Brothers movie for a long time.
Dude, I'm getting pumped just talking about it, man. I'm thinking about
I know,
it too hard.
because it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I know.
So
This conversation that we're having right now is like the main reason why I wanted to do this episode is like talking about how many different games out there have the potential to be a really interesting series or movie if handled correctly.
yeah.
Metal Gear.
So,
Yeah, no, for sure. And I also would like to talk about that stuff more, but let's talk about some. We'll do that after this, though. I want to talk about some of the ones that that are already movies, and either A, did a really great job, or B, sank the ship really quick. And we did already talk about the Resident Evil series, of course. Derek and I also already talked about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Which sucked.
It was pretty disappointing, honestly. At least I've seen worse, but there were just things in the movie that were completely unforgivable, just dog shit. And
Sucks with bars. Shit was just not good.
yeah,
that seems to be the legacy with video game adaptations, though, is they have been historically bad. Like,
yeah,
I was actually doing a little loose research into the history of video game adaptations, and from what I could find, the Super Mario Brothers movie from the late 80s, early 90s, I can't remember.
Yeah, 93.
That was the first movie documented, at least on Wikipedia, which take that as you will. That was the first movie that's documented, live action or animated, as a video game movie. And, I mean, obviously, we all know it's, like, infamously bad. But they did... I mean, there was a few... There's a couple gems here and there. But for the most part, from 93 is what you said when it came out?
Mm-hmm.
93 up until, like... What, 2020?
2019.
2019? Give or take, around that area?
Yeah, that's when they actually started getting good.
Yeah, like that's, what is that, almost a 30-year window
Almost,
of just really terrible video game adaptations, and they've just all, like I said, there was a few gems here and there, Mortal Kombat, a couple of the Resident Evil movies, Silent Hill, stuff like that,
yeah.
but most of them were garbage. Why do you think that is?
Because people thought that, oh, it's just a video game. We can just put it on the screen, don't need to try any effort. I'm going to use Street Fighter as an example. We're just going to cast big stars. We're not going to cast stars that fit the role. Who are we going to get to play Guile? We need a red-blooded, American-made fucking hero. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, let me preface by saying this. I love the Street Fighter movie. I understand it is bad. I know I'm wearing nostalgia glasses whenever I watch it, but I fucking love Jay's TVD. I always will. That's one of the dumbest casting choices I've ever seen in my life, and I knew that as a 7-year-old child watching this movie. But to Toby's point, yeah, there are some good ones in there, because like Paul Anderson's first Mortal Kombat is still one of the best video game adaptations in my mind. Then, yeah, we go down the list. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. awful. Wing Commander, never saw it. First Tomb Raider, okay. It had
I forgot about the Tomb Raider movie. Holy shit.
It had Angelina Jolie in it. So, yeah. Then there was Resident Evil, which has gotten better over time for me personally, but still not the Resident Evil I want.
I don't know about all that, but
Well, I want a series of the first fucking game. That's what I want.
yeah.
I will not be satisfied. I know what I want, and I'm not going to be satisfied till I get it. But
we could be here all day talking about how much potential the Resident Evil series has for movies. I mean, we did a whole fucking episode on that already.
Go check that out, by the way.
yeah, we could do another. we could do a whole year's worth of shows on just Resident Evil alone.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we're not going to. But moving on. So one name that pops up a lot throughout all of these remakes is, I'm going to mispronounce his name, Yu Bull. And his movies are not the greatest. House of the Dead, anybody? Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, Postal, In the Name of the King, Far Cry. I know you're recognizing some of these series, but not the movies, because the movies are that bad.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't know that there was a Postal movie. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, but the same, like this was like it appears like it was his thing for a while, and I think he was honestly kind of dragging down the video game adaptation, like justness, because yeah, in between there you got like Silent Hill, in between Blood Rain and Postal. Silent Hill's a good movie.
Yeah.
It is a very good movie.
I liked Silent Hill quite a bit.
But
At least the first one.
Oh yeah, the second one was bad. Second one was not good. The first Hitman with Timothy Olyphant, that was okay. But then you get to like Max Payne, Legend of Chun-Li, so a second Street Fighter movie that's awful. All the Resident Evil sequels, basically, not good. Need for Speed, a Hitman reboot that was not worth a piss. There's been a lot of dog doo-doo to go through, but in 2019, and the reason why I say that in particular is because that's when Detective Pikachu came out. This was like one of the first, Warcraft did make like $439 million, but Detective Pikachu made $450 million worldwide, and it was kind of universally not loved, but liked. People like it. It's a good movie. And then Sonic after that, which, same thing, made a lot of money, got better critical reception. So then we started to actually get good video game adaptations.
People started to realize that when you make a game that is faithful to its source material, it's actually going to sell pretty well.
Yeah, which is baffling because the still just like the shit that we still get. We've cracked the code. We know what we need to do. We've known all along. But so like Sonic, was it? February 14th, 2020 is when it came out. And then when did that god awful Resident Evil series come out? Or shit, we could even just point to the Resident Evil movie that came out a year later that thought it was a good idea to smash the first two games together into one fucking movie.
Yikes.
If you want a definition of missing the fucking point, Welcome to Raccoon City is that. You gotta give it time to breathe.
I think you guys are understating how, like, don't get me wrong, Welcome to Raccoon City was bad. But that movie looks like a magnum fucking opus compared to that Netflix series. That Netflix series was so bad. That fucking Netflix series for Resident Evil was so bad that it single-handedly got me to cancel my subscription when I finished the series.
Yeah, I didn't even finish it because you told me it was just a gigantic waste of fucking time, so I didn't even bother.
It wasn't even like a bad adaptation. Like, Welcome to Raccoon City was a bad adaptation, but you could tell that they were trying.
Yeah.
The series was insulting.
Yeah.
That's about how it goes. Like most video game adaptations, they are just like What the fuck is this?
I will say that that when I said being faithful to the source material, I didn't mean that in a cut and dry black and white sense. I mean, obviously there are things that you have to do in order to make it translate into a movie. Like, I'm not ignorant to that fact. I understand that. But with Welcome to Raccoon City in particular, as someone that hasn't played the games, even I thought that it was a little bit too tongue-in-cheek. Like, there was just too many, like, reference after reference after reference after Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg. And that all is cool. But the story was shit. It just wasn't good. It just, like, it fell flat so bad, even though they had all these things from the games, yeah. But where did they incorporate them? Why did they incorporate them? And how did they incorporate them? And that's what I think made it fall.
It's because when they were trimming the fat, they cut the whole fucking steak off, too.
Yeah.
Like that, like, seriously, like taking 2 games with, we'll say, what would you say Resident Evil's average play length is? First game, Toby, like 6 to 8 hours, maybe? And then two separate campaigns, we'll say 10 hours. Cramming like 18 hours worth of stuff down into an hour 45. It's never going to work. Never.
Especially not with a series or a property as lore-rich as Resident Evil. Like, you could make a series on the first game alone if you really wanted to. Like, there's so much shit happening behind the scenes on those games that I personally, as a fan of the games, would love to see a little subplot with the Keeper, like the Keeper's Diary note, you know? Like, seeing the scientist get infected and, like, document the change into a zombie and whatnot. That's just one instance. There's tons of those throughout the whole game.
Mm-hmm. And it'd be awesome, but I don't know. It's... I don't get why this is rocket science for some people, because I see, like, how to do it. And I know we talked about stuff that had been coming out, and I'll mention Sonic 2. I really like Sonic 2 a lot. I'm super pumped for 3. Keanu is Shadow, and Jim Carrey's coming back. Like, my inner child is super pumped right now. One video game adaptation that I'm calling right now, it's going to be a bomb. And this shouldn't be a surprise to either one of you. Borderlands. Borderlands is coming out in August. Eli Roth, already not a big fan. They miscasted this entire movie, and I was watching some video a couple days ago that was basically saying everything beat for beat that I've been saying since I saw the trailer. This is another one, like, I don't get it, I guess.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I've noticed a pattern, at least with the last couple successful video game adaptations that I've seen. It really boils down to the people making the movie or the series. Are they a fan of the games? Did they have something to do with the games?
Or at the very least, do they have the studio involved in the making process?
Exactly, because the last two video game adaptations that I watched was Fallout and The Last of Us, both of which phenomenal for completely different reasons. But the one constant that they had, the Fallout series, was executively produced by Todd Howard, and the Last of Us series was executively produced, and I believe it was even directed. I could be wrong on that. I don't have the thing in front of me. By the game director for Naughty Dog. I can't remember his name. His name is escaping me at the moment, but...
Neil Druckmann?
Neil Druckmann, yes. Thank you, Derek.
Yeah.
Those two, Todd Howard and Neil Druckmann, had massive creative liberties with those two properties. The Last of Us succeeded because it's the game itself is just a great story, and it translated well to a movie. The Last of Us was easy. I feel like The Last of Us was like the easiest successful video game adaptation that they could have done. But Fallout succeeded in a completely different aspect, because it didn't really follow the plot of any of the games, at least to my knowledge.
No.
they took the world and the lore and all of the intricacies of the Fallout IP and made something wholly original that worked really well
in the Fallout universe. That was it.
In case if you didn't catch our Fallout episode, Toby, I made a point about the two of them that the Fallout show essentially has more freedom because it's set in the universe, but it's not following a specific storyline, whereas Last of Us is basically shackled to its story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll say it again. I don't know how they're going to do season 2 of Last of Us, I should say.
I
think the plan is to do the second game, or at least the first half of the second game. But
you played it, right? You know what happens, right?
I know what happens. Yep.
Yeah.
I can't wait for all the people that don't know what happens that are going to find out what happens. That's going to be exciting.
I don't know what happens, so don't tell me.
Yeah, their brain's going to explode.
Oh, actually, this is a perfect time for me to pop up my spoiler button that I made. Look at that. Just in case we discuss any spoilers.
I may have already done that. I don't know.
I don't think we mentioned any yet, but now it's up on the thing, so people will see there are spoilers ahead from this point on. Well, there probably will be. I know there probably will be to some degree, but so yeah, I will say at least on the Last of Us situation, at the very least, I have faith in them to do it justice to some degree, based on what they've done so far with season 1. That gives me faith that they're going to do something good with season 2. That's all I care about. Now, if they fuck things up, then obviously that's going to be extra disappointment because I'm looking forward to it. But at the very least, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for now and just trust that they did the first one as well as they did. I can handle whatever comes in the second one. No problem.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
I think, or at least I hope, video game developers start recognizing the trend here that if they have some involvement in the creation of these adaptations, they tend to do better. Like, if you're creating something that's based on a movie, a video game, a book, whatever it is, and you have the original creator of that source material right there to be like, hey, maybe we should do this like this way, and you're actually taking that advice, your product is going to be better for it.
Yeah.
And
in most cases, at least.
I was going to say, I got an example of the inverse of a TV show being adapted into a video game, that because Matt and Trey were a part of it, the Stick of Truth was fucking phenomenal. So, yeah, that, in my mind, it's just more for your point that, yeah, keep the creators involved. They know what they're doing. Don't try to like, that would be like me, like, hey, I'm going to write a Kingdom Hearts movie. What do I know about Kingdom Hearts? Fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not to say that the fans don't know what they're talking about either. I think if you have a team of competent fans of any certain property, like, they can do it too.
I think
you don't always have to have the creative director of whatever studio, but
I would disagree with that only for the fact that no matter which way that you hash it, a fan is going to have some kind of bias and personal interest in a particular story or another. Whereas the creator, I think, is more inclined to come up with something from their own creation. Like, the person that made the game, I think, is more likely to come up with the story and the right story beat and the story path to follow in a movie or TV show than a fan would be. Because I know for a fact, I'm going to bring up the Warcraft movie because I'm going to discuss the Warcraft movie for a second anyway, but as a fan of the Warcraft series, I know for a fact that I would have made a movie entirely different than what came out, and it would probably have been talking about story beats that would be good, yes, because I know what story beats are good in WoW, but they would have been very personal to me. Even though I know deep down there are going to be tons of people that like those things, sure, but I would definitely put in things that are like specific references or specific nods to certain things that could have been better used elsewhere and so forth, or vice versa. And and so forth. But the Warcraft movie, just while I'm talking about Warcraft, I think is one of the, in my opinion, better ones from that era of game adaptations that were not very good. But I think that the Warcraft movie did a good job with what it had, and they did have the creators there. I'm pretty sure Blizzard was a massive production part of this. I don't know for certain off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure they were. And I think they followed a decent enough story. I love the movie regardless, and I know that the community is split down the middle, 50-50. There's people that love it, there's people that hate it. And there really is no concise thing other than the fact that it was a missed opportunity. And I agree with that because the Warcraft universe, among many other things that I'm sure we'll get into in this video, is too big of a world to cram into movies. You're talking like a MCU length timeline here. I mean, there is a lot to discuss in the Warcraft universe. There's books, I think there's even comics, there's fucking like the side games like Hearthstone and shit like that. There's every different expansion that's come out. There's the Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. There's Orcs versus Humans. There's too much shit to put into a single movie or even a trilogy for that matter. So I think what the fans say when they say that it was a missed opportunity is because it just would lend itself better to a show. So hopefully that is something that they will do. And I know that there's little rumors going around that they've got a deal with Netflix here coming up soon for an animated series, which I think would be pretty cool. So we'll see.
And see that I think it's more interesting seeing movies being made from those kinds of games like Warcraft or for instance Fallout. Like, I mean, Fallout's got a massive universe. It's got a massive world with a bunch of different stories that you can tell. You don't have to follow the story of any one particular game. You can tell a wholly original story set in the Warcraft universe, you know? Like, you don't even have to have any of the characters if you don't want to. Like, I don't think... I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't believe the three main characters of Fallout actually exist within the game.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think so.
I was going to say, they could make a Warcraft series following a level 1 night elf hunter named Mike Roch, and it would break record.
Oh, yeah. I'd watch it.
It would break record. Yeah.
Records?
Like... If they were to, obviously, I don't want to create I don't want them to create a pattern by any means. I don't want them to just copy beat for beat what Fallout did. But if Warcraft were to make a series, for instance, following one or two, I mean, you'd have to have multiple characters, I suppose. But if you were to do 2 or 3 main characters, one of them's an orc, one of them's a member of the Alliance, one of them is like a fucking elf or some shit. I'm not as well versed in this world as you are, but if you were to take a character from like each of the different corners of this universe and build a story where they all have their own independent thing going on and they all end up meeting together, I mean, you got right to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that Warcraft is big enough to do that easy, and then some. But that's another thing about the Warcraft universe is just there are so many main story beats that could be done that they could just pick one for season 1. They could do the Rise of the Horde, for example, which is one of the novels that talks about how the Horde even formed. That, in my opinion, would be a phenomenal story to see unfold. Because it talks about all the different orc clans and how they were corrupted by the demon blood and shit. Like, just that alone, that one sentence makes me want to fucking watch it, for God's sake. I want to see orcs and shamans and all these people and their different tribes and cultures and shit like that come together and then are greeted by these fucking demons. And they're forced with the idea of, hey, you can drink my blood and gain a shit ton of power and strength and all this stuff. Because that's where their culture is thriving, is strength and honor and all that kind of stuff. But then you have some of them that are a little like, I don't know about all that, which is kind of what they did in the Warcraft movie, but that could have been played out in a whole series. We missed all of the different clans and shit. Like, obviously they're in the movie, but like all the war chiefs and shit like that, you see them, but they don't ever call them out by name. And that sucks because some of them are really cool. Like Grommash, for example, one of the coolest fucking people or orcs in Warcraft. But they could also do a Burning Crusade season and a fucking Wrath of the Lich King season. They could do a whole fucking 10 season show on Arthas alone, honestly. Arthas by himself would sell millions and millions and millions and millions, like, easy. Let alone all the other characters. I mean, Arthas is just one of those characters that, like, he's just super iconic. Everybody that knows anybody or anything about Warcraft has at least seen Arthas the Lich King to some degree.
Oh, yeah.
Or Illidan.
Yeah,
Illidan would be a cool story to see play as well, but...
He was my avatar on Warriors of Rock.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I would love to see something about any of those characters or a personal story. I wouldn't care one way or another. I just want to know, I want more Warcraft shit. But that also brings me to the point of the stylization. I think that if they're going to do it in animated series, it's the way to go. Just because Warcraft is very styled, and I think that was another big complaint that people had about the Warcraft movie was that, especially with the humans, for example, the humans looked more fake than the CG orcs did. Because the stylization of the armor being so bulky and big and stuff just didn't translate very well into live action. I personally could give a fuck less, but I know people did gripe about that, and that's a fair statement. But if they do an animated series, dude, they could have as much stylization as they want to, and I think it would be phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I think they could still pull it off live action. Is it going to cost a metric shitload? Yeah. Oh yeah. But it'd be worth it in the end. Like, yeah.
I think as long as we can stop, like, as long as we can break out of the mentality that a live action adaptation needs to be grounded in reality, we'll be fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking a world like a stylized thing like Warcraft, translating it into live action and committing to that, you know? Like, we know what we are. We're doing a fucking World of Warcraft movie. They're gonna have shoulder pads the size of, like, small dogs, but...
Yeah.
It's a medium-sized dogs, but yeah.
To large,
yeah.
If you're looking at Tauren, dude. Those
shoulder
pads are huge.
Well.
If it hasn't already been made abundantly clear, I'm gonna be referring back to Fallout quite a bit as like a baseline of what to do right. They had a fucking character that spent like 90% of the show in a great big bulky fucking power armor. Was it goofy as shit? Yeah. Did you take him seriously? Fuck yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I thought it turned out great.
It can be done.
Yeah.
We just have to commit to how goofy it's going to look.
I think another big issue, and I'm not necessarily just with Warcraft, but any of the ones we've talked about so far, but I think the issue with some of the ones that turn out bad are the games that they choose to adapt. Because I think that there is a certain kind of game that just does not translate well to movie or a show or whatever. Like, and maybe they would, but who's asking for it at the same time, you know? Like Uncharted, for example. I cannot tell you anybody that I know that gave a shit about an Uncharted movie coming out. Sure, people love the game and shit. I don't know. I don't know anything about Uncharted, but like, when they're gonna announce, if someone's gonna put a poster up or a post on Twitter or Facebook or something saying, "Oh, this next video game adaptation's gonna blow your fucking mind," and then they announce that it's gonna be Uncharted. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No one. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm sure not. No one cares. I'm sure somebody does, and I'm sure there's a big niche of people that loved the fact that they made an Uncharted movie. But you're not going to get the same kind of hype for something like that, and expect it to do well as you would, again, a Warcraft thing. Hence the numbers, by the way. Like, the numbers did great when they sold because there was so much hype. There have been people asking for a Warcraft movie or a show or something forever. Since the game came out, people were asking for that shit. So when it finally happened, 15 years later, yeah, it was a big fucking deal. It sold a ton, even though it may not have done as well later on as they were hoping for it. Dude, it fucking sold a shit ton of movies. I mean, it was big. It was a big deal. Even the hype building up to it, like when they leaked like images or showed like images and stuff, production images and whatnot, people were fucking pumped for it, man. So it's about choosing the right games too, I think.
I agree. I think games that have their own identity tend to lend themselves better to a live action or even an animated adaptation. Like something that, like one series in particular, it absolutely blows my fucking mind that they haven't done this yet. Metal Gear Solid. I'm not even a huge fan of those games. Admittedly, I've only played the first one. I played a little bit of the second one. But I know, because my friends play those games all the fucking time.
It's got a fucking complex story, yeah. Yeah,
it fucking does. That game franchise is on par with, like, some of the greatest video game world building of all time.
Yeah.
Like, that would make a beautiful series if they were to do that correctly.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you 100,000%. It needs to be a series. It cannot be done in a movie. People can argue with me all they want. No, it needs to be a series so that way it does justice to the source material.
I think that... Go ahead, sorry.
I think the reason why it would do so well as a movie, or not even as a movie, but as a series, is because that game has its own identity. There's nothing else like it. There's absolutely no other game, no other story that I can think of anyway, that even compares to Metal Gear Solid. It's its own thing.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So that's another thing, is just again, if you're going to announce a fucking game that's going to be turned into a video game adaptation, imagine for a second, if you will, they announce a fucking Skyrim game or show or movie or whatever. Honestly, I think Skyrim. Yeah, or no, even just Skyrim by itself. That would probably be better as just a movie. But still, people would lose their fucking marbles. Their marbles would be all over the damn floor. But if you announce like a fucking, I don't know, a fucking Ape Escape movie, like what? Why are we doing that?
One that I'll throw out that would make a good movie, mainly because I'm not the most familiar with it, and I think this you could relatively sum down into a movie. Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the first Splinter Cell game into a movie, or the first couple. I played them a little bit, but that was more of my friends' thing, not so much mine. But yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to actually make a good, badass Splinter Cell movie. Especially with, like, where we're at now with action movies, with, like, the action that you get from, like, John Wick, for instance. Put that, and then add the stealthiness, and then throw in the John Wick ass beating. You've got a fucking gold Splinter Cell movie.
Yeah, that would be fucking rad. And you mentioned something that I think is worth talking about as well. The fact that you said that you're not super familiar with Splinter Cell, and that's why it would make for a good movie. Like, we have to keep in mind that when they make a movie or a series based on a video game, sure, it's like 50% geared towards us as the fans, but it's also intended to bring in new people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, that's something that they have to, like, when you're making an adaptation, you got to take that into account too. How can we make this, like, how can we take this world and make it make sense? Like, for instance, what you were saying about the Warcraft movie, if they were to make something about the origin of the Horde, that would be a perfect starting point, because I don't have any fucking clue. I don't know anything about the Horde. So if they can make a movie that caters to you as a fan with characters that you know and love, and they do them well, but they also take the story and translate it into a adaptation that makes sense to me, that I can watch as somebody that's literally never played the game and be like, okay, this is cool, this is interesting, this makes me want to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, just like what Fallout did for me. I've played a little bit of Fallout, but I watched that show and I was like, fuck, I want to go play the games now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
download 76. I think it was free on PlayStation a while back. I just downloaded it the other day. I'm basically waiting for you guys to download it so we can try it out.
I like to keep it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think, actually, Toby, I think you and I both got it while it was free.
I kind of want to say I did as well.
I think we did.
I'll check it when we get off of here and see what's what. If it's on there, I'll download it.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of things that can go terribly wrong, and I think that we've seen enough of the things that can go terribly wrong, and we already know a lot of the things that can go terribly wrong without having to see them. And studios know this as well. And at the end of the day, if their goal is to make money off of something, you'd think that that's just a given, is to do the things that don't go wrong. Like, if you're going to actively do something that's going to piss a fan off, and you know it's going to piss a fan off, even though maybe you as the producer thinks it's cool, don't do it, because that's not going to make you money. What you think is cool as a producer, not going to make you money. What the fans think is cool is going to make you money. That's how it works, and there's been time after time after time where they've done these things that are just, like, so far left field from anything anybody ever asked for, or anything that anybody was ever expecting. And I'm not saying that you're just supposed to copy and paste anything, even though they kind of did with The Last of Us, but they did it very well. They did it very well. It was faithful. They didn't add any extra fucking, like, stupid shit that nobody cared about. Like, it just was faithful to the game. It did very well. People loved it. People that have never even heard of the games at all probably adored it, because it's just a standalone good thing by itself anyway. And again, with the Warcraft thing, the Rise of the Horde's a good starting point. But they could do literally any of the starting points, and it would still mold itself into a scenario that is going to be good for anybody involved. People that enjoy the series as a game, or people that have never even heard of it. And it, again, it lends itself well to an adaptation on the screen. Whereas things like fucking Angry Birds. Did anybody ever tell you that they want an Angry Birds movie? Because I don't fucking think they did. And if you tell me... Shut up, Derek. And if you tell me that you wanted an Angry Birds movie, you're lying. Go ahead, tell me down below in the comments if you wanted an Angry Birds movie before it got announced. Is this something that you desired? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, you're lying to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to seriously look me dead in my face and tell me that one day while you were pooping, playing Angry Birds, you're like, man, this game would make an awesome movie. Just, fuck, get out of here.
Nobody asked for that.
Go.
Nobody asked for that.
Be gone.
And that's the same. That's the same for these live-action Disney movies too, which I know we can do a whole episode on that, so I'm not going to go too in depth with it. But they would be really cool if they made the Disney live-action movies with movies that would lend themselves well to live-action, like Lady and the Tramp. Nobody fucking asked for that to be live-action. Nobody. Not a soul. You're lying to me.
I fucking want Great Mouse Detective.
Live-action?
Yeah.
I hate you.
Real mice.
And I think that
so much
is a good segue into not every video game can or should be adapted into a movie.
Right.
There's certain games that are just better as games.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I'm looking at a poster on my wall. Dark Souls would never fucking work as a movie. It would never work as a series. It's too, like...
It's too open and not linear at all.
That game is almost too lore-rich to be able to put into a specific... Like, it goes back to what I was saying about them making it make sense to somebody that isn't a fan. Dark Souls, from a story perspective, is a lot. It's a fucking lot. Like, you have to be paying attention, and it's something that I don't think there's any way that you could effectively turn that into a story-driven thing.
As someone that has not played the Dark Souls game, well, not to any depth anyway, someone that has not played the Dark Souls games, sorry. I personally would love to see something adapted to film, and I don't know how they would do it. Like you said, I don't know how they would do it either. But again, as someone that hasn't played the games but is interested in the story of it, or like what it means, or anything, even if they had to just pick Elden Ring to do, like something like that would be cool for me as a non-fan of the game to see on the screen, because I'm sooner going to watch a movie about it or a show than I would be to play the games, just because it's not my personal cup of tea. But
it's something that would be such an abstract movie. Like, did you watch Mad God?
yes, I told you to watch Mad God.
Yeah. I couldn't remember. I knew we had talked about it, but I couldn't remember if you had watched it or not.
Yeah, I was the one that showed you Mad God, the fucking trailer for it or something, I think.
A Dark Souls movie would almost have to be something in that vein.
Mad God is fucked.
It's incredibly, like, cryptic almost in its storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, it's a hard watch. It's something that you can't just, like, put on, sit down, sit there for like an hour and a half and be like, yep, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. I think with the case of Mad God, Jesus Christ, Mad God,
Mad Dog 420.
With that, it's more so because it's so many stories that it could be, but it's such a vague many stories that it could be anything, you know. And I think that I'm pretty sure the director did it on purpose, because he probably had a direction for it in his head, but he didn't want to give anything away. So it's all based on your own interpretation. And if anybody's got the stomach for it, or if everybody watching has the stomach for it, definitely go check out Mad God. It's fucking insane. It was a passion project. It was something that the creator of it was just super passionate about. I think it took him like 20 years to finish or some shit like that. And it's a spectacle. But holy shit, is it fucked.
It's Guillermo del Toro, isn't it?
No, it's the guy that did. It's the guy that was doing the animatronics and stop motion for like the Star Wars movies and shit back in the day.
Oh yes, what the fuck is his name? What is his name?
Hang on.
I'm blanking really hard.
Phil Tippett.
Oh yeah.
Phil Tippett.
Yeah. It's definitely a really...
AKA Santa Claus, if anybody's watching and not listening.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm pretty sure Bill Tippett?
Yep. He did stuff for Starship Troopers 2.
And RoboCop.
RoboCop, yep. Dragon Slayer. Yeah, kind of a deep cut, but...
Derek, if you haven't seen Mad God, it doesn't have much of a story, but it is a spectacle to, like... Just from like a visual storytelling perspective,
it's
like just watching it is fucking insane. It is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's any dialogue in the movie at all. It's just a character going through some shit, but it's a lot.
Focus.
Yeah.
And the reason I draw that comparison to Dark Souls is because the character that you play in Dark Souls doesn't even have a name. Like, he's just referred to as the Chosen Undead. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't, like... Your character in Dark Souls feels like such a tiny, insignificant little fucking insect in this giant... unfathomable world of monsters and dragons and crazy shit. It goes out of its way to make you feel small and insignificant, to the point where even the NPCs are like, oh, you can't, like, they're just constantly talking you down. They're like, you can't fucking, you're just an undead. You're just a little beef jerky man. You're not gonna amount to anything. So, like,
beef jerky man.
If you were to, and all of the Souls games are like that. Like, even Elden Ring is like the one of the famous lines from Elden Ring is, "A tarnished can't become an Elden Lord." the whole game, you are told that you cannot do this. This is too much. It's too much for you. You're not powerful enough to do this. So, like...
And you buck the system and tell them to piss off?
In a movie context, that wouldn't work because you're actively not rooting for your main character. Like, I mean, I guess if you were to flip it into like some kind of underdog story, but at the same time, the sense of scale wouldn't translate well, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess my point in that little tangent is not every game can be translated into a movie, and some of them just shouldn't be.
Yeah, like Guitar Hero.
Like Guitar Hero. Nah, I'd watch a Guitar Hero movie.
I actually would too, but I don't think it'd be good.
Probably not.
They'd screw it up somehow. And that's okay. That's actually a very good point, because any video game adaptation, when they announce it, the first thing that comes out of my mouth, it may not be out of your guys' mouth. It'd be good but they're going to screw it up. So these movies already start off in the red with, oh, it's a video game adaptation. And then they've got to kind of get over that hump and then be taken seriously as a movie.
Yeah.
Because I know plenty of people that are like, oh, that's like, oh, Mario movie? Whatever. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Mario.
It really is kind of an uphill battle when you decide you're going to make a movie based on a video game.
Yeah.
Because no matter what game it is, you've got a dedicated fan base that are obsessed with those games.
And they're ready they're ready to grill you if you miss something or do something wrong.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's kind of humbling for a fan, like, having this conversation right now, realizing it from a different perspective is like, they have a lot to live up to. Like, it's easy for us to be like, oh, the Resident Evil movies the Resident Evil games would be so easy to make into a movie. It's just a bunch of fucking cops going into a haunted mansion. It's easy. But at the same time, like, they've got to appeal to us as the fans while also trying to bring in other people, bring in new fans.
Yeah. They've got to please us, grow the audience, because they know damn good and well they might be able to fool the other people, but if we're pissed about it, then we're obviously going to bitch and complain. Other people are going to see it, and that's going to affect their opinions on whether or not they watch the movie.
And I think Resident Evil is a perfect example of how not to do that, because Welcome to Raccoon City, it on paper, from a fan's perspective, it sounded cool. Like, oh, they're making the two games. They're gonna show off the Spencer Mansion, and we get to see all the crazy shit that goes down there. And then we also get to see William Birkin and all of his research, and maybe we'll get to explore the police station. Maybe Nemesis will show up. Like, all this crazy shit that we could have seen, that it's easy for us to be like, yeah, that'd be super cool. But from the perspective of the people actually making the shit, they're like, I mean, is that going to make sense in the context of a movie, you know?
Yeah. But, yeah, video game adaptations. It's a mixed bag, but thankfully the code's been cracked, at least, I should say. So,
we kind of figured it out a little bit. We're starting to.
Yeah, we're getting there, thankfully. You guys want to go ahead and talk about our 5 favorite adaptations from video games?
I'm here for it. Jacob, are you dead?
Yeah, what's up? Your audio's gone again.
Oh, no.
Here, I'll talk for Jacob.
Are we good?
Warcraft. Yeah, there you go.
I'll talk for Jacob. Warcraft. Asshole.
Okay.
But it's true.
So, yeah. our top 5 favorite adaptations. I know we didn't talk a whole lot about TV. I mean, yeah, we talked about Fallout and Last of Us. There's not a whole lot more, because, I'm pretty sure I speak for all of us when I say we all missed Halo and Twisted Metal, correct?
Yeah.
I started watching Halo. I turned it off halfway through the first episode because it was terrible.
Yeah, I've heard the first season is god-awful, but the second season is really good. And Twisted Metal, I've heard good things about. I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet. So I guess I'll say keep in mind this list could change because we have not seen every single one of the adaptations. It's just what we like the best right now at this exact moment in time.
Yeah. Also, these are personal preference lists as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full disclosure, there's a lot of video game movies that I haven't seen just because I'm not super interested in the property. Yeah. So,
yeah.
It's all personal preference.
Same.
Okay. So, call them out. Number 5. What do you got?
Who are we going first? Want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't care.
My number 5 is Dante's Inferno.
My number 5 is also Dante's Inferno.
Hell yeah. Got a double number 5.
My number 5 is The Last of Us.
Okay.
Damn. Okay.
It's good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, let's just move on. Number 4.
All right. My number 4 is The Last of Us.
Damn, really? What the fuck? My number 4 is the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Really?
What the fuck?
Really?
Detective Pikachu.
Okay. Number 3 is the Fallout series.
My number 3
is
Silent Hill.
This is a personal list, Derek.
I could still scald you for your personal list.
It's personal, but you're still wrong.
Fuck off. Anyway, what'd you say your number 3 was, Toby?
My number 3 is Silent Hill.
Okay.
My number 3 is the original Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Nice.
My number 2 is the Super Mario movie. And this was hard because it was almost my number 3 because I loved that Fallout series. But I think at the end of the day, it all just goes back to the fact that I like movies more. And I'll watch that Mario movie every day of my life and I'd be satisfied.
I'm still not in it.
Dude, it's so good. I love it so much.
That was actually the movie that I was referencing when I said there's some that I haven't seen just because I'm not interested in the property. I never really had a desire to watch it. I'm sure it's great, but I just don't really care that much about it.
You should check it out.
I think you'd probably love it because it's even got some dark humor and shit in there too. That's just like, wow, they put that in a fucking Mario movie.
All right, what's your number 2, Toby?
What was your number 2?
I'm waiting on you.
I said Mario movie.
My number 2 is The Last of Us.
Okay. My number 2 is Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Really? Second one's better, huh?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Fuck yeah, it is.
I haven't seen it.
Knuckles, Tails, full-on Robotnik, and Pantera's Walk. Yeah, Sonic 2.
I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, so I never watched the second one.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Pantera's Walk would have lost points for me.
Oof.
Hey, in the sequence that it's used in, you would appreciate it.
I actually have a really quick, funny story. When we went to see... I can't remember. Actually, yeah, you went with me, Jacob. You were there at the Rivers of Nile show.
Yeah.
Between bands, when they were setting up for Rivers of Nile, I think, we were all standing there and they were playing music over the thing. And this absolute troll of a fucking sound guy decided he was going to play Walk by Pantera, but it was just the main riff on loop for 10 minutes. Like, he had the whole crowd just hyped as fuck. Like it builds up to the fucking drum bit, you know, like where like the fill right before it goes into like the actual riff. But it never goes into the actual riff. It just repeats the beginning bit over and over and over. And ever since that day, I can't listen to that song anymore. It just roots it for me.
That makes sense.
He rickrolled us with Walk.
God, yeah, that's like jerking it and like, oh, I'm gonna go. Nope, we're gonna start over again.
There's a whole fetish for that, Derek. You should look into it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
number one.
are we doing? Are we not doing any honorable mentions or?
We didn't.
Well,
What?
yeah, I didn't really. I guess I have a couple that mention. If we've got honorable mentions, but I just did 5.
The only reason I say it because there was a couple I did want to shout out that I didn't talk about and that did not make my list because of it, but or because I just had other ones that I wanted to put in there. But the Pokemon movie, the first movie, is technically a video game rendition to some degree, even though obviously it's very loosely based on the video games that came before it.
Pikachu will kill the shit out of you.
Yeah, beautiful fucking movie. Loved it. And then I was also going to bring up Silent Hill again, because I also like Silent Hill quite a bit. And then I was going to put The Witcher in there as an honorable mention because of the technicality, but...
Jesus, I swear.
But anyway.
I've got a couple honorable mentions as well, if you don't, Derek.
Yeah,
no, I got a couple. Go ahead and go.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's one that I literally just thought of, like, as we were recording this. It just came to me, like, a few minutes ago. So I don't actually remember the title of the movie, but it's a Dead Space animated movie.
Extraction?
Extraction, that's what it was. Dead Space Extraction is fucking lit. Fuck. I'm gonna clump all of the animated, like, CGI Resident Evil movies together.
Okay.
Because they're just great. Like, they're all canon with the actual games, so they take place in between the games.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good world building. And, fuck, I had one more. I lost it. Go ahead, Derek.
It was Prince of Persia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for honorable... Jesus Christ. For honorable mention, I'll mention the first Sonic just because I did not want to put 2 Sonic movies in my top 5, but I did love the first Sonic movie too. Silent Hill, of course, was awesome. Super Mario Brothers movie. The animated one, I should say, not the original live action.
Yeah.
And Street Fighter, because it'll forever hold a special place in my heart.
That's fair.
My last honorable mention was actually a movie that has not come out yet. It's it's a movie that hasn't come out yet, but hear me out. It's a fan film being made about the Keeper's Diary. We've talked about it a little bit on the
Residents of Evil. Yeah.
It is called Resident Evil: A Biohazard Story. Or is it The Keeper's Diary, A Biohazard Story is the name of the fan film. It has not been released yet. Keep an eye out for it, because there's a trailer out for it, and it looks like it has the potential to be the best Resident Evil adaptation that we've seen so far.
Hell yeah.
Fans keeping it alive.
For sure. Hell yeah.
All right. Number 1.
Number 1. Warcraft.
Knew it.
I love that
Derek?
movie, dude. It's a comfort movie, man. I love it.
Go.
What is it?
It's Fallout.
Yours is Fallout?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Super Mario Bros.
You're full of shit.
Not Fallout. It's got to be Fallout.
I knew by the time we got right down to it, I was like, okay, this is easy. Jacob's is Warcraft, and Toby's is Fallout, and mine is Fallout.
Toby was just gonna hit you with Rampage at the very last minute.
Yeah, shit. No, he's gonna come out
the Rock Johnson.
House of the Dead or Doom.
I recognize that it's a terrible movie, but I actually do kind of like House of the Dead.
Doom is not a good movie, but I do enjoy it, especially the whole first-person sequence. But yeah, House of the Dead is just bad. It's just bad all around. I've thought that since 2003 when I saw it originally.
The best.
I don't think we planned for this, but do you guys have? Can you guys compile maybe a top 3 of games that haven't been made into movies that you'd like to see?
Oh, easy. Easy. So
Let me look.
first one for sure, I want to see a Zelda movie, and I think there is a Zelda movie being made currently.
Yes. As far as I know, there is.
So I'm pretty pumped about that. Secondly, I would very much like to see something done in the Elder Scrolls to some degree. I don't know what they would do, but I would like to see something like that. Or if they're not going to do something in the Elder Scrolls, I would like to see specifically a Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance movie to some degree. I know the D&D movie came out recently, and it was okay. It was pretty good, but the Baldur's Gate series, I think, would be a really cool place to dig into a movie or a show or something like that. I think that would be super cool. And then the last one, easy, 100%, and it was possibly maybe kind of teased a little bit, but not confirmed, Medieval, with Daniel Fortescue from PlayStation 1 Medieval. And that would be super fucking cool to see in a show or a movie or something like that. Probably just a movie. It would probably be fine as a movie. But if you look at the PlayStation Studio trailer, it's like just a little like couple second long thing that just shows the PlayStation logo or whatever. It has little snippets of characters from the games and stuff that are going to be put into movies, and the ones that are already in development, which I think God of War was in there, and there was a couple more, and I think Ratchet and Clank was in there or something like that. But for a very split second, you can see Sir Dan's fucking leg at the very bottom of the screen, and it pans up right before the tip of his sword shows. It cuts away to a completely different character, and I'm like, you sons of bitches, man! I swear. But it's undeniably his leg. I mean, same goofy ass like leg plate with the big ass fucking shoe and everything. It's him, and it's a PlayStation exclusive, so
that would be fucking
in
bad.
PlayStation Studio, as in the studio that's making the movies, not PlayStation, like the gaming side of things. That's specifically the studio making the movies. So I think it's gonna be a thing, but I can't confirm that yet. But anyway, those are my choices.
Okay.
I would love to see a Metal Gear Solid movie, first and foremost. Or rather a series. I think it'd have to be a series.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, not even because I'm a huge fan of the games, but more so because I'm not a huge fan of the games, and I kind of want to get into that story, but I just don't have the brain capacity to play through all of those games, and
that's where I'm at with
it. The lore and shit. Like, it's a cool concept. I really do like the concept and what I know of the story of Metal Gear. I'd love to see that made into a movie franchise or a series. Dead Space, I think, could be a really solid, like, self-contained movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be a franchise. I don't think it needs to be a series. I think one fucking Dead Space movie, I mean, the atmosphere alone would make that one of the scariest horror movies to come out in recent years.
I'd love to see that.
And you gotta make a series out of this. Wolfenstein.
Oh, shit, dude. That would be sick.
The Wolfenstein games specifically, the newer ones that are based, like, in the future, not even in the future, but like in an alternate timeline where like Nazi Germany won the war. That would be fucking awesome. Like, I'm thinking like a Grindhouse kind of, like a Tarantino style movie, where it's like it follows B.J. Blazkowicz making his way, like he wakes up out of a coma or some shit in like the 50s or the 60s, and he learns that Nazi Germany won the war, and now he's like walking the streets of America, like Nazi controlled America. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, that'd be sick. I don't know a whole lot about the Wolfenstein games, but I can't remember if it was Cody or Cheeks that was playing it when I lived with them. Probably Cody. I don't know. Could have been either one of them, but they were playing it, and the little bit that I did see, and then I know I've watched some videos about it with you as well. I did enjoy quite a bit. That would be a super fun movie. And also one more that you made me think of when you said Dead Space. That would also be a really creepy, fucking awesome horror movie. Soma, that game that we played with Cody that one time.
Yeah, true.
That shit would be creepy as shit to see into a movie. But
I think horror games alone lend themselves very well to movies.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
But I've got a good segue then if you're done.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake?
Alan Wake is a series.
Okay.
Yeah, also got a few more here. Mass Effect, absolutely a sci-fi series. Gears into a movie. It can be done.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mentioned Splinter Cell earlier. One game I kind of forgot about that I definitely want to mention because it is lost in the annals of time. Condemned: Criminal Origins.
Ooh, fuck yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think you could do Condemned as a movie, and man, that would be legit. Another just dumb, fun action movie, Army of Two, or in particular, The 40th Day. And then my number one for video game adaptation, I want to see Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Hell yeah. Wait, why 3?
Why not?
Because if they're gonna do Tony Hawk games into a movie, they need to do Underground and Underground 2.
Underground and Underground 2 came after 3.
I know, but they would be better for movies. Those would be better movies.
Couldn't do Underground 2 because Bam can't do drugs.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, they could do one.
I love the concept of a Tony Hawk movie.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, Tony Hawk Underground or Tony Hawk Underground 2, if you just made the story that plays out in those games into a movie, that would be an awesome, like, stupid humor movie, like Hot Rod or some shit like that. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, that style of humor would be funny as hell. Or Rockstar Never Stopping or whatever, dude. That style of comedy would lend themselves so well to a Tony Hawk Underground movie.
I got one more that literally I'm just scrolling through and I saw. Titanfall. Do you know how awesome Titanfall would be? And you could do it as a movie.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say Destiny. Or something in the Destiny universe would be cool to see as a movie.
No. Destiny is about ready to be taken out back and fucking capped old Yeller style. Final Shape comes out in less than a month. And yeah, no Destiny.
Okay, that's fair. Damn.
What do we think of the concept of a Helldivers movie?
It's already out.
I think
Starship Troopers.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like specifically like a animated comedy, like a dark comedy Helldivers movie.
I think it could be pulled off.
I'd fuck with it.
Yeah.
I'd fuck with it live action too, to be honest with you.
Dude, it could be interesting. Drop gone wrong. Fucking, you lose Nis with the with your ships up above, and then you're pinned down deep in the shit. The Illuminate make an appearance in the third act as the twist.
As long as there's a joke about getting stuck under a Bile Titan corpse, I don't care.
Yeah, or just a Bile Titan kicks you fucking 39 kilometers away from where you previously were. That would be awesome too.
I also want to see someone get a grenade lobbed at on accident or something from a grenade launcher, just for my own personal preference.
Man, I hate impact grenades. Whoosh.
Yeah, I want to see somebody say, man, I hate impact grenades, and then have their best friend just, like, lob a fucking impact grenade at their face and blow them up. That's what I want to see. Fucking asshole.
Oh my god, the timing of that was just so perfect, I swear.
The post-credit scene is our heroes walking out of the like freshly defeated automaton factory. They're like, we did it, we won the war, and we look up, the camera pans up, and there's a massive fucking like Star Destroyer looking ass ship showing up, and it says Sony on the side of it.
And it's not the Illuminids or anything, it's literally just Sony HQ. That'd be beautiful. They've got little rocket pod escape modules on this ship that all have Arrowhead's logo on them.
God.
Love it. Anyway,
yeah.
That'll
How about do it?
That'll about do it for the video game adaptations, guys. Unless y'all have any closing statements or any more honorable mentions or shout-outs you want to give. Or...
Do Resident Evil justice, for fuck's sake. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Facts.
I'm excited for Sonic 3.
Yeah.
No printer.
Same. I'm excited for that medieval teaser that they definitely teased. I swear to God, if it doesn't end up becoming a thing, I'm gonna be so pissed. But yeah, that'll about do it. Make sure you drop a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this and anything else that we have on the channel, because we do a bunch of stuff on here. Thanks again, Toby, for joining us. And
anytime, buddy.
Yeah. Toby? What should we have the people comment below?
What's your favorite video game movie?
Yes, that's an easy one.
Favorite?
You know what? No, that's too easy. Give us more ideas. Give us more franchises that should be made into a movie that haven't been.
Facts.
Or a show or a series or whatever.
And I'm still going to be looking out for those comments saying that you wanted an Angry Bird movie. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to be finding you. We'll argue about it in the comments, but anyway.
Yes.
We'll see you next time. Peace.
Have a good one.